You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.
Hey, it's your boy Lauren again, back again with another episode. Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Kirsten Graham. She owns a six-figure coaching business. That's literally is the name, and she is a marketing trainer. She focuses on leveraging video marketing and how teaches business owner how to use that to improve their SEO, and focuses a lot on value-based education instead of go straight for the sales. And I'm sure see many other things that we can find out today. Welcome to the show, Kirsten.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
So how do you end up here? How did you get your start in marketing? What did you do prior that, or have you done marketing your whole life? Tell me a little bit about how
Yeah,
you get here.
yeah, great story. I started off in real estate. I got my license in the late 80s. I ended up moving to the mortgage side of the business. Eventually, I owned a mortgage company and a title company. And I love everything about real estate, and also a real estate investor. And what happened was one of my clients actually is a marketing person. And so she convinced me to start using YouTube videos for my mortgage company back at the end of 2006, 2007. So we started creating YouTube videos. And of course, we all know what happened in 2008. And I like to say we survived. We were not thriving, but we survived. But what it really taught me was the power of video. And, I would have someone walk into my office and they were so comfortable because they knew me, but I'm racing around in my own brain thinking, how do I know them? Where did I meet them? And the reality is I hadn't. They had just watched so many of our videos. They felt like they knew me. They were asking about my dog. And that was when I really understood the power of video. And when I owned my mortgage company, I also did a lot of loans for self-employed people. And I would see their business tax returns and their personal tax returns. And then inevitably they would ask to take me to lunch so they could pick my brain. And so I mentored other business owners for about a decade before I moved into business coaching. And I worked with clients one on one. And what I saw was most clients struggle with marketing. And so I actually partnered with my real estate client who had encouraged me to use video. And we really focus on helping business owners leverage evergreen video, create a video once. It's working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's the power I feel like video brings to the table. And that's why I'm so passionate about it.
Uh, so that's an amazing story. So you get your start in real estate.
Mhm.
Uh, Found out that the power of video marketing, found the people of educational base, evergreen videos, and really, it's almost like you found a need within business owner that do or don't understand marketing, and the gap between that is I take it is why. And so you decided to jump into business coaching and later on marketing, become a marketing trainer to close that gap and help people out. Is that kind of how your story? Is that kind of how you end up here?
Yeah, there is a second part to that. My business partner, she owned a marketing agency, and I was actually her mentor. She's the one that taught me into using video for my mortgage company, but I was mentoring her. We actually did a focus group, and this was back, I'm gonna really date us. This is back when Facebook first came out with fan pages. It was when business owners were starting to realize that LinkedIn wasn't just, a platform to put your resume on. And it was when all small businesses, local businesses, were starting to understand the value of email marketing and blogging. So we did a focus group around that. And what happened was we got a lot of information from the business owners about what they knew, what they didn't know. And then Jeannie went on to put on some classes. They were paid classes. She ended up selling out of the classes, which was great. But then what happened next was she ended up with a lot of businesses saying, I don't want to set up my LinkedIn profile and post. I don't want to write my own blog post. So her agency kind of took off really quickly. And I I said to her, looking back, I'm like, what were you thinking? I said to her, I read articles about outsourcing overseas. Would you want to try that? And she said, sure, if you'll help me. So over the past 16 years, we've outsourced to 6 different countries. We have hired hundreds of virtual assistants for ourselves and our clients. And let me tell you, we learned everything we know the hard way. I mean, if it can be done wrong, we totally did it wrong. So it was a lot of trial and error, but at the end of the day, we realized how much we love empowering business owners to outsource a lot of their marketing, so their video editing, audio editing, social media, things like that, because it's really like the perfect marriage. It gives someone overseas a really awesome job, and it's very affordable for the business owner. And that means the business owner can just focus on creating one great video a week, and their virtual assistant takes care of everything else. So I think we have kind of two hearts. We have a heart to help our clients, the business owners, but then we also have gotten to know so many beautiful people overseas, and we understand how much having these jobs, mean to them and to their families. So that's what we get to do every day, and we love it.
Well, it seemed like you create a win-win-win-win situation for everybody. So a win for yourself because you're doing what you love. It's a win for your client because they get to leverage the power of, multiply them. I call it multiply themselves so they won't have to repeat themselves over and over again. And you're helping people oversee find a career that maybe otherwise is they wouldn't have the opportunity to because of either language barrier, geographical barrier. So and then again, you help everybody win in that essence. And video marketing to me right now, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like business right now has enjoyed the easiest time to launch because, like you say, you had already spent time perfecting it, video marketing and video outsourcing, and really is the editing that take a lot of time. We can record a video, but like we don't know how to edit. We don't know how to put subtitle in there and all that stuff.
And we don't want to know, right? I mean, we want to know the big picture because we're entrepreneurs. We want the big picture, but we don't necessarily want to be sitting behind the computer editing a video for 5 hours. It's not the best use of our time. I always say, why in the world would you ever do something that you can pay someone else $3 an hour to do? That makes no sense to me. And, I think a lot of business owners don't realize the power of YouTube when it comes to local SEO. So YouTube's a search engine, and Google is a search engine, and Google owns YouTube. They are both ads platforms. They make money when people are looking at ads. So if you've noticed, when you go to Google, and sometimes you search on Google, after you see the ads that come up at the top, what you'll see is that often Google is showing you a YouTube video rather than like an article. And the reason for that is it's gotten to the point where people will spend more time watching a video than they will reading an article. So this gives local business owners a great way to leverage keywords about their industry, but also local keywords. So when people are looking for what they do in Google, they can still find them often through the YouTube content. And I think that's just incredibly powerful. The other side to this that I love so much is that business owners are so passionate and they have so much knowledge, but they forget how much knowledge they have. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you have a lot of information that are questions that your clients may have asked you over the years, or maybe they feel like it's too stupid to ask. I mean, like you're in decking, right? So you do decks. So you could do an entire video on should you have a 1-level deck or should you tier it? What landscape is best for like different types of decks, design. Little things that we think are just common sense to us, or we just know so much about. Consumers find it fascinating. And Loon, I don't know if you remember when HGTV came out. When HGTV, like we were addicted. We're all addicted to HGTV. You can be on YouTube your own show, right? You can just spend time educating the people in your area about what you do and how you do it and the different materials you use and the different choices they have to make. And I think it's just a great way to build that relationship. So when they do reach out to you, they already feel connected to you, and all you're doing is providing value.
Oh, that's really powerful, and that's something that as business owner, one of the thing that I coach people on is at first you kind of have to be the face of your brand.
Yeah,
You kind of have to get on the video, and if you don't get on video, find kind of like a brand ambassador that will get on video for you because people buy from people,
right.
right? And people don't buy from businesses. People buy from people that work for businesses. So that's really is. I think we're still in the early age of video marketing, of SEO, of building a personal brand within a business brand. I think we're still in the early age of that because 95% of construction business or any business ever that I've seen has no social presence,
Right.
no YouTube present, or they might have a few video and they quit because there's no consistency in the way they approach, marketing and this and that. And then in related back to that, all of this stuff is obviously it take time and effort and energy to come up with the content and upload it and edit it. But once it's done, right, it's there forever, and you don't have to pay any more recurring fee to like Google or YouTube. You don't have to spend money on ads or so so therefore I think I think we're still in the early age of that.
I do too. And I think a lot of business owners, especially I think in construction for some reason, they think about just short video content, but we really focus on longer form content. So it could be 6 to 8 minutes, it could be 12 minutes, whatever that looks like to explain a concept start to finish. But what's so amazing is yes, now you have this evergreen video that's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, forever for you. But what we do is we have that virtual assistant send that video out to your email list. That video gets turned into a proper blog post for your website, and it gets broken down into smaller videos and quote cards for all your social media platforms. We work with a lot of lawyers and real estate agents, people who are really busy. And the concept is, your industry, you have a lot of information in your head. So we help coach you on getting those topics out and figuring out those keywords so that each week you can create a great video in generally less than an hour. That's generally most of our clients, once they get up and running, they spend about 1 hour a week. Then it goes off to the virtual assistant to do everything else. The business owner does have to look at it, review it, make sure it's exactly what you want. But we have clients that are going on 4 years with their virtual assistants, and they no longer even review their content because they're like, their virtual assistant knows what they're looking for. They've built a really trusting relationship. And they understand that there might be a mistake or something from time to time, but they know 90% of the time that virtual assistant is perfect in getting their content out. And I think, there's no such thing as a perfect business. There's no such thing as a perfect house. There's no such thing as a perfect virtual assistant. But if you have someone who is really dedicated and loyal and understands what you're looking for, they become a very valuable part of your team. And because of that, it cuts down on the amount of time that we as business owners have to spend creating content.
What would you say if somebody right now, they're thinking about building out that that pillar of marketing, um, that video marketing pillar of their marketing mix. Um, what would your advice be to them to get started? Because like from our conversation, we talk about, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to edit it, you got to approve this. But what is the like right now? If I want to start tomorrow, what would your advice be?
So my first thing is I would say sit down and write a list of all the questions that you can think of that your customers have asked, and then continue that. If someone asks you a question, go, oh, that's a great question. Because what's going to happen is once you start creating videos, anytime someone asks you something, you're like, oh, that's a great topic. And I know exactly how I can record that. It gets your mind thinking differently. So know that you have a lot of information, and remember to break it down, because you're talking to people who don't know anything about what you do most of the time. So break it down so it's interesting and that they understand it, and that you're building that know, like, and trust within that content. So that would be my first step. The second step is, it just depends on where you are in your business. If you are in a place where you can't afford to outsource or hire a coach like us, or even hire an agency, which is more expensive, then you're going to have to kind of go it on your own, right? And I understand people sometimes are bootstrapping. If that's the case, you can record videos with your phone. You can find a simple video editing software and do it yourself. And remember, good enough is good enough. It doesn't ever have to be perfect. Just get it out there. The videos that you create today are not going to be as good as the videos you create in 12 months. The videos you create in 12 months are not going to be as good as the videos you create in 24 months. You're going to improve little by little by little. And to just start the journey is what I would say. Just write those questions down and start that journey.
Sorry, I'm writing all this down. We'll write the question down and just start. And from your journey, you make a lot of shifts, you make a lot of changes, and as business owner, one of the most common objection that I get is like, well, the juice had to be worth the squeeze for me to even think about that marketing channel, invest into video marketing. There's no ROI that I can measure directly in terms of how it impact my brand. What would you say to that?
So, we live in a culture that wants instant gratification, right? And if you're at a place in your business where you absolutely need to get business in the door, then you're better off running great Google ads. That's probably going to be your best bet. You're going to see the quickest ROI on that. I think of video marketing is building your digital assets, building this amazing channel that is always working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it is generally not going to be instant gratification. So we do have clients. We have one client, she's in a very niche business, but she doubled her income after 2 months with a virtual assistant and tripled it the third month. That's not common, but she's in a very niche market. We have a real estate agent who is in Jacksonville, Florida, and she had a YouTube channel for a while, but she really wasn't leveraging SEO and all the strategies. And she had never gotten a lead from her YouTube channel, and she'd been, I think, creating videos for a couple of years. So 6 weeks after having her virtual assistant, she had 3 people actually reach out to her from Miami who were relocating to Jacksonville. 2 of them she met with, and 1 of them went under contract. So there is power in video. It's really just a matter of showing up consistently and giving value. Talk to the camera, just like you're talking to someone in person, and just share what you do with them and how you do it and why you do it, and just answer all those questions they've been asking. But I feel like video marketing is something that's going to pay in dividends year after year after year, but you may not see the ROI right this second.
Mm, that's powerful. Um,
Can I add one more thing to that? Sorry.
mhm.
So for our clients, generally the ones who get a really quick ROI on their video marketing, it's not necessarily because someone found their channel on YouTube. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? Find your channel on Google and YouTube. What really happens is they start sending out the video to their email list. So maybe they talked to someone, in your case, 2 years ago about getting a deck, and they just haven't done it. But now you're sending out a video that is educating them about some different things of your decks and how you do them. And what happens is one, your email will have a higher open rate with a video in it. But 2, when they watch that video, it could inspire them like, oh, well, we've really wanted that deck and we just haven't pulled the trigger on it. Let's really start thinking about this. The next week when they get your video in the email, now you're teaching them something else or talking about something else. So you're helping them move into that decision to pull the trigger. That's where most of our clients get their ROI. So if they have a good size email list, they find that it either reactivates old clients. We have a client who's a dietitian, and she started having a lot of people who she'd worked with in the past come back to her because they gained a little weight. They wanted to lose those last 10 pounds again. So it can really reactivate your email list and bring business in right away. The other thing is it does give you social media content. So if you just happen to have a large audience, say on Instagram or LinkedIn, now instead of showing up with maybe one post a week or whatever, you're starting to have 4 or 5 posts a week going up, and they're all value-based educational content. So that's where they see more of the instant ROI, I would say.
I mean, this is all great stuff, and I myself, I'm learning a lot from this because I've been really like you get where you focus your energy on, right? So I haven't really like focused on a video that much in my business, but I can see exactly where this is gonna go, and I was getting ready to hire a videographer, somebody that followed me around for next year anyway, since now I'm kind of free from the day to day a little bit. So, how much time should somebody dedicate it to this if
So it
they
really,
don't,
yeah,
if they're still wearing a few different hats around the business?
yeah. It doesn't have to be high tech or necessarily having a videographer. I would say just set up your phone. It usually has a much better camera than your computer does. Just set up your phone, make sure the background's not cluttered. You have it's not distracting. And then just think about questions. You could even start off the video by saying, hey, I had a customer that asked me this the other day, and I thought that's something I want to share with all of you. And then just share what that customer asked and explain what you explained to them and why. And then just wrap it up. When that conversation ends naturally, just wrap it up. It doesn't have to be long. We do get into, in our training program, we do get into making sure you're using keywords in that conversation. So those keywords would definitely be, yours is composite decks. You would also want to use your location. That could be the area you live in, a certain neighborhood within that area. So those are the things that I think those are really important for having people find you. But sometimes I think if people just start recording some videos just to get comfortable, then they can move into the SEO. But I don't know why you want someone to follow you around. I don't know what you're thinking with your video strategy, but most of our clients are just kind of doing talking head videos and then showcasing clips of different things. Maybe the start of the deck for your case, maybe halfway through the deck, and maybe the end of it. Maybe talking about what was the challenge with building that deck? Was there, an unusual grade in the yard? Was there, did they have to relocate the design of the deck because there was an oil tank underground? Like, you've come across many, many things over your years, right? And so all of those are great stories to tell within your educational content. Yeah, we had to move the deck 4 feet, but we did this and it actually turned out better, right? So sharing stories about what's happened, but making sure you're using the keywords that you use on your website, same keywords, and make sure you're using all of your location keywords.
So the reason why I want somebody to follow me around is I want that part. I just don't want to touch anything about editing and things like that. And it's served twofold. It's get me content for my coaching business, and it will. And since I'm doing that already, I will get content for the decking business too. And I'm at the point right now where I just don't want to. I just don't want to set anything up, you
Yeah.
know. And it's interesting you say that the power of YouTube. Maybe I was underestimating the power of YouTube. I was, very strictly focused on Google and Facebook, and I've had some great result, but I never think that YouTube is like a second search engine. It make total sense, right? Because sometimes I went down to a YouTube rabbit hole trying to research something. Oh, how to do this, how to do that, how to do this and that. So yeah, and then we do have a big email list too. So yeah, this is all good value right here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great conversation, and I can't wait to see your videos with someone following you around. I think that'll be kind
Yeah,
of fun.
Because right now I do. Maybe we can talk offline a little bit. I do have a few agency that handling the podcast production and the the personal brand and the business brand, but I haven't really focused on that. I just been busy building the team out. So this year, just I think it's washing out, but the business is good. So and it can always be better though, like because I'm a marketing nerd, so that's what that's what I used to do back before construction. I did marketing for the casino, so it's totally different realm.
Yeah. But there's
Totally,
some foundational things that are the same, right? You understand keywords and you understand SEO. So there's still some
yes.
foundational things, and you understand the importance of people buy from people. So you want your content to represent you as a person.
Yeah. So if I really go all in this, there's no downsides in it, right? We already have a good brand. People already talk positive about us. We already, have strategies stays top of mind, and this literally just put a face to the business. Or somebody else can do the video for all I care. So that is one of the pillar that we're gonna attack hard in 2025.
Sure. I love that. That's awesome. It's kind of fun to think that you've got the business to the point where you've got great employees and everything's running smoothly. So now you get to really focus on the big picture and the marketing side. I think that's where most business owners aspire to be.
Yeah, so I mean, when I first started out, I was hard. I went hard on posting once a day video, and then sending people video of testimonial reviews and all that stuff. Sending via, but I have a list of testimonial that I have for my client, and our best content when running an ad, it's just a video of me just with my phone. Hey,
Mhm.
we out here in Gretna,
Yeah,
Nebraska. Just checking out this beautiful view. Guys are working on the deck, and then we would have that, and we have copies in
right,
Facebook. We would have copy, and those video went viral, and
right.
the video that I calculated. Hey, I want to say this. I want to say that. Tank. So it's just amazing that sometimes it's the simplest thing that makes
It,
things go viral. So
it is. And it's interesting with a search engine like YouTube, going viral isn't necessarily the goal, right? Because what
hmm
happens is you think about who is your audience. Your audience is generally homeowners, what, within a 100-mile radius of where you work. Is that about right? Right. So you really want your content to attract them. When you have people for your decking business, for your coaching business, that's different. But for your decking business, you really want your content to speak to those people, those homeowners in that area. You don't necessarily want it to go viral because that can actually confuse YouTube a little bit about who's your audience. And those people are never going to buy anything from you, right?
right.
So, yeah, we're not saying we want to create content that no one else watches, because you're always going to have people watching your content that are not in your area. However, you're creating content for those people in your area. And we think about subscribers and likes and things like that can sometimes be vanity metrics when you think about, you don't need a lot of people watching your videos. You need people watching your videos that are thinking about building a deck within the next 4 to 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's not about everyone. It's about your content getting in front of those people who are at the right stage where they're thinking about it, and they can keep coming back to your content while they're thinking about it. And then when they're ready to pull the trigger, they already know, like, and trust you. And so they reach out to you. They're already sold on you.
And that's the beauty thing about that's the beauty thing about video. And when I think about marketing and the the purpose of marketing is to me is it should help the business on every single stage, right? It should help you sales better. It should help you get more leads, which ding, 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 ding money, right? Get more lead. It should help you retarget people. It should help you reactivate their own leads. It should help within the you know when I think about marketing, I think about a lot of pillar. It's like, okay, once you get a lead in, what do you do with that lead?
You
Right?
know?
What do you do with that lead? There's a whole other segment behind here that maybe sometimes people don't pay enough attention to it, but we follow very aggressively to our list per se.
Right.
Because you have to already invest time, money, and energy into getting somebody to click on your website, fill out something, type in some other things, and then they call you and you say you're not available.
Right. Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's funny because they say on average it's 5 to 7 follow-ups before a person will pull the trigger. And most salespeople give up usually after one, but most of them will never make it past 3. So when you think about
Yeah.
following up, having a content strategy that allows you to continue to nurture people, along with maybe your text messaging and your other emails and your phone calls and all the things that go into that, it's important to have that all, like you said, working together.
The average, I just went on a top 500 conference for contractor in Vegas. So the average marketing cost against revenue that these guys are um, producing is higher than 10%.
Okay.
And when you're running on 10 to 20% net margin, that number, if you can get it down to maybe like under 5%, went straight to the bottom line. And then when I looked at the makeup of these company, they're strictly a sale organization. They
Right.
buy leads. They buy leads because they can if you sell windows and things like that, the gross profit is high enough to where they can pay an agency or somebody to generate I would call them warm lead. I call them really cold lead that send out to maybe 5 to 7 contractors. So when I see their marketing spend get that high, I'm like, what if you were to take that money, invest in a brand ambassador? Because some of these guys, they don't want to be on video, they want to own the business, blah 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 blah, whatever. But to invest in somebody, maybe a marketing manager, a brand ambassador, somebody that take charge of the marketing and do all this the stuff that they're not doing, right? They're not following up. It's a new business. It's not a
Right.
repeat and referral business, or
Right.
it's not an SEO business. Because it's funny because I asked a question uh to one of the panel. I'm like, well, you guys are all complaining about lead costs being high and all this stuff. Uh, and then what is the strategy to lower lead costs? And all of a sudden, the audio cut out. They don't understand me. They cut me short
Uh,
because it's against the agenda of the convention, right? So
right. Right. Yeah. So and I think it's interesting because when you talk about referrals, I bet you're like us. We get a lot of referrals. Like if you have happy clients, you get referrals. And I think a lot of these bigger businesses, they forget the importance of that. They forget how important their customer is, which is why after they have sold something to them, they generally don't stay in touch with them. So there's an interesting survey, and I'm going to mess it up, I'm sure, but they were interviewing people who had bought a house and were happy with their agent. And they asked if they would buy the house from the agent again. And it was a really high percentage that said yes. However, when they followed them 5 to 7 years later, when they did sell their home and buy a new home, they didn't use the same agent. And the reason why is that agent did not stay in relationship with them. And so, if you think about it, you can be a resource for your customers. I'm sure other contractors and you're networking within the community. So, insurance agents. Always offer to be a resource for your customers. If you're doing like an insurance job, like a deck because of an insurance claim, a tree took their deck out, talk about that, like that you do insurance, rebuilds or repairs or whatever that is. So I think we forget that our past clients, if we did it right, they're our raving fans, and we want to stay in touch with them, and we want to stay in contact with them. So I think that's really important too. And it sounds like you do that because you get a lot of referrals.
So it's funny you say that. We do branding a little bit different, and then now that this video opportunity come up, I think it's just gonna supercharge our effort. But what we do is we show gratitude to all of our clients, right? And we do it in a way that is genuine, and it doesn't feel like, hey, I send you this, now you gotta give me 3 referrals. Now
I
I
know.
send you this, uh, there's a blank check right here, and I'm asking for money right away. We don't do nothing like that. We basically put all of our clients that have bought from us, we put them to a gifting cycle that we send out quarterly uh, gift without asking them for anything. And we found really great success in that because law of reciprocity
Yes.
say that if you do something nice for people, they are obligated to do something nice for me. And if I'm a deck builder, what is the one thing they can do for me? And I get, tons and tons of referral and ton of brand impression from other people,
Right.
that other people talking about me because I'm not there. I'm not in the room. I'm not in this Facebook group. I'm not in this next door group. I'm not in these table dinner conversation. But they talk about me because I make them remember me, remember who I am, and it's quarterly. So we try to measure this, and it doesn't fail every time I send out a gifting cycle. The ad does better, right? The brand impression does better. Sales go easier. People call in for repeats. There's guy that within the yeah. So my business new only 2020. There's people that have bought from me 5 times. They they buy a deck, and then they fix their front porch, and they add a roof, they add pergola, they're extending their deck, and they're like, "We just want to spend money with you because you're a nice guy," you know.
Oh, don't you love that? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And their neighbor, I think there's one circle that there's 6 houses within a matter of 3 months. We do 5 houses in there, 5 decks, and from just one lead. So when you think about long-term client value, when you think about, minimizing your marketing costs, so we run at a 2.5 marketing cost, by the way. Uh,
Right.
yeah, when you think about that, it's like if one of the deal bring you 5 more deals,
Right.
in that you're maximizing your lifetime client value right there. And same thing go with real estate. I'm sure, I've been with the same guy for forever, and he only charged me 5% to sell my house every time I sell. You're right. And because he know I will be buying more houses, I will be buying more investment property, I will be bringing more deals to him, and he constantly stay in touch with me because he knows that, it's the funnel to keep on giving it, because I'm a simple guy. I'm not that complex when I think about term marketing and branding and things like that. Branding is, what people talk about you when you're not in the room. Marketing is marketing is to me, it's getting into people community, people circle, so you exist within that community. Because I mean, who do doctor hang out with?
Right.
More doctors.
Yeah.
Who does money manager hang out with? Oh, more money manager. Who's nurses hang out with? Who's the marketer hang out with? More marketer. Who's sales guy
Right.
hang out with? More sales guy. So and then I haven't figured out a way to trace this yet, but I'm sure there is a way to trace the referral score. The you know, but I haven't found a way of doing that yet, and I don't think we need to anytime soon. But video marketing, though, hopefully that will. pull my marketing costs even down lower.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny because a lot of times when you send a video out to like someone on your list, maybe it's someone you built a deck for, sometimes that'll trigger them to forward that email to someone else. Like you said, they were at a party the other day and maybe someone was talking about building their deck or adding onto their house or whatever. So that great content will often get forwarded to their friends or family who have mentioned something about buying it. Hey, this is the guy I was telling you about. Like, watch this video. He's talking about XYZ, right? So it is fascinating that we can also give our customers digital tools to promote us as well. So, that's, a lot of times when someone is referred to us, from one of our clients, they will have already watched several of our videos because our client sent it to them. Hey, watch these 3 videos. And this kind of gives you a good idea who they are and what they do. But, so it's funny when they call, they've already watched some of our videos because our clients have recommended certain videos to them.
It's amazing when you can get that effect that other people talk about you. Is I would say game over, but it's really easy when it's really easy to do business when you don't have to spend 10 to 20% of revenue,
Right.
not profit revenue.
Right.
So some of these guys, like, if we're a heavy material business, so really when you're talking about 15% of top line, that's more than their profit.
Right.
When
Right.
you're talking about 22% of their top line straight to marketing, that's more than their profit.
Right.
Like me, I'm not from the industry, so I don't care about, the average or whatever people
Right.
spend. I don't want to spend that much.
No, because you understand the value. It's not about revenue, it is about profit, right? When you think about
Right.
growing a business, you could have a business that's bringing in 250,000 a year and paying you $150,000 salary. You could have a business bringing in $1 million a year paying you a $50,000 salary, right? So it really just depends on like how do you run your business. And that's one of the things I think where outsourcing plays a big role. It allows people to have very affordable labor while providing someone with a great job. So that's a great way of lowering cost, but still getting excellent service and getting the things done that you need to have done. So I just think it all goes into that same conversation around how do we keep our marketing costs under control? How do we track the results of what our marketing is doing? And how do we think of our marketing is more long-term evergreen, not just instant right now, right? You're running ads. The minute you stop running ads, that's that. You stop running ads and they're not putting them out there for you for free. So those leads stop coming in. But if you invest a little bit of your time in creating some evergreen content, that's working for you ongoing. So it's a matter of marrying all of those concepts together and then tracking how things resolve over time, not just today, but how's your business growing over time. And it'll be interesting because I definitely want to talk to you about this at some point in the future. But when I have someone call us and they found us on YouTube, they are quoting things I've said. They're quoting things my business partner has said. And I'll be curious to see when you get into this evergreen cycle, if you have more people quoting things that you've said to you when they reach out to you, because it's really cool to see that happen.
And I mean, I don't think it's gonna be, if I'm really gonna, and this has been on my mind for a few years already. I have a few agency that I work with. They say, "Oh, get me more video, get me more video." I'm like, I just
Right.
it's not in the mix right now, just because I didn't have time.
Right.
I spend time building people, building processes, installing people, recruiting people. I mean, we're not we're not big, but we're not small either. We have, I think we'll do 9 million this year, uh, and then uh, and then me. As for me, I don't. When people, the conversation need to be talked about is what does you bring home to mama, you
Right.
know,
Making
right?
it come to mama.
Right, and it's the bottom line,
Right.
and the bottom line is my goal has always been, I don't want to run any business that I'm bringing home less than 20% net profit. That's
Right.
not going to happen,
Right.
and and having an edge in marketing and understand people's psychology, and having a machine that will keep bringing you repeat business. I think that's first, and then and then I think what I'm missing in the pillar of all of this is a video piece of it, because obviously I haven't been paying attention to it. So maybe this is this is meant to be that we met.
Yeah, conversation was meant to happen. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. And I've learned a few things from you too. So it's been awesome having a conversation with you today.
Yeah, and I'm always a learner, and then I go to a lot of convention, and sometimes and most of the time people, just because I came from the service industry, like
Mhm.
I used to service high-end client,
Right.
so it's like the client experience. We lock that down from start, the client journey from the start to finish, with automation, all that stuff. I won't bore you with that, but introducing videos, could be a great thing. Hey, oh, you got an appointment with Mike. He's gonna, we're gonna automate it, send a video. Hey, it's Mike, blah 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 blah. Here's some few articles, few video that you can watch. I'm just brainstorming in my head. Here's a few video you can watch, to talk about the difference between cedar and composite, to talk about, whether or not you should have a covered roof or not. What is the advantages and disadvantages? So I think that those can be really helpful in terms of generating easy sales for us, instead of the sales guy going there, dump the price, and then having to try to overcome objection after objection after objection.
Yeah, giving that education makes all the difference, because again, now they know, like, and trust you. You're someone who's, like you said, when you send out those gifts, it's that law of reciprocity. People owe you. It's the same thing when you add value. So when you're educating them and you're answering questions that they have, and you're just putting all this great information out, they know, like, and trust you, and they want to give you business. They want to work with you, and there are a lot less objections. So it is so true. But yeah, you can include videos in your automation. So it makes sense to have automations, with your follow up and things like that, whether it's emails, text messages, voicemail drop. But with the emails and the text messages, you can definitely include videos in your automation.
Mm, just just more stuff for my GSL people to do.
Yeah.
But right now I can already think at, like, hey, you're gonna record the videos. I'm gonna put up a few things right here so we can warm people up even more, utilize the power of technology. I honestly, I never thought that incorporating videos could be that much powerful, but, like, maybe right now I'll close at 25%. What if it can be 40?
Right. Why not? Yeah, absolutely. We
Yeah,
always
y-
cut
you
costs and
know,
improve revenue. Yep.
yeah.
I
So
love it.
uh, right now, we can talk offline for a little bit, but right now, how do people get in touch with you? How do people, like, say, person, I just don't know what to do. Like, just here's the check, handle it for me. How
Absolutely.
do I do it? How do they do that?
Well, the best thing, I've got a free gift for your audience. It's a free guide. It's called Double Your Income with a Marketing Virtual Assistant. And they can get that at outsourcingforbosses.com. Outsourcingforbosses.com. It just shares more information about outsourcing. There's a link in there if they want to book a call directly to talk with me to find out if we are a good fit. And yeah, I love having conversations with people to figure out if we could help them get where they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, you already crystallized where my marketing direction is going to be for 2025. Uh, I have I have a lot of great people that already I work with, like, five different agency
Wow.
already with great success. So I rather pay the people than Google.
Right. Sure, for sure. Yeah.
I'd rather, pay the people than Google. I mean, Google's is nice, it's get you ready to buy a lead. It's a channel of acquisition that, you know, nobody can beat. But, like, what if we can maximize that, right? What if we can get more client warm little Google lead. That's one of my motto is like, how can you make a lead shit 5 ways?
I love that.
So I mean, and then when people's like, well, how your marketing cost is so low? Is it a soft market? Is it? I'm like, it's none of that. It's just, I treat people like people.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You know,
you're tracking your data, you're watching what's going on, you're building
yeah,
long-term relationships. You're doing all the things that I think a lot of people sometimes are just too busy, too crazy busy, like trying to, like you said, wear all the hats, that they lose sight of that. But it sounds like you went into your business understanding steady growth and tracking what's working and improving what's working and getting rid of what's not working. That's how you make your business profitable.
yeah, and I had a head start. Like, I went to business school.
Right.
I went to accounting school and I did marketing for 8 years before I started my business. Just COVID happened, and I don't know how to build that.
You don't have to know how to build a deck to own a
Yeah,
business. That's what I
yeah,
always tell people. It's so funny you say that, because I'll have clients who, and probably more women than men, because I think women feel like they need to, they need to kind of control things, or not control it, but they feel like they should do everything themselves. So the question is, well, how can I have someone edit a video for me if I don't know how? Well, the reality is I don't need to know how to edit a video to say, oh my gosh, I love that transition. I don't like that transition because it's too jerky. That B-roll looks amazing. This image doesn't work because it's all men in suits, and our clients are self-employed people generally not wearing suits, and we have more women than men clients. So find an image that's always 80% women, 20% men in casual clothing, right? So I can coach someone on what I want my content to look like. I do not have to know how to edit a video to make it happen. Just like you don't have to know how to build a deck to build a very successful business.
yeah. You just have to be able to attract the right people into your business and have a big enough vision to where everybody can get a piece of the pie, and that go into a whole nother conversation that
We'll have that one. I definitely want to have you
yeah,
on our podcast.
I'd be willing to go on a few podcasts, go on a podcast tour next year to I say I'm not done really. I hire a bunch of leaders, so I will have time to study the brand and build my personal brand. And I think that's really where it is, because now I do a little bit of real estate too on the side. So there all these kind of things, the new venue that I'm really excited about for 2025. But enough about me. Thank you so much, Kirsten. This episode is value packed. And if
Thank you. Thank you.
and if people really do listen and implement just some of the stuff that you talk about, or some of the stuff that I'm doing in my business, I have I have conviction that they will reduce lead costs, make sales easier, and be more of a client acquisition expert. So I will have my VA reach out to get all that information, how people can reach you, and things like that. And I'll let you know and send you a copy of this when it's published. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.